Welcome to the Quick Talk Podcast with Joshua Latimer, where we discuss business, life, family, faith, struggle, fire, pain, and ultimately winning.
It's time to take massive action. Look, I can't work harder on your life or business than you do. It's ultimately all on you.
You know, God created all the food the birds would ever need, but he doesn't put it in their nest. You've got to go get it.
10 out of 10 people die. So how about doing something today that actually matters while you still can? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quick Talk Podcast. How the heck are you? We had a pretty interesting response to the podcast I did with my wife. Something about you. You're a star out there. People just blow up, freak out, start crying, and send me emails and messages. And so I have you back on because we're going to talk about some action items. So yesterday we shared our story. We shared like all kinds of mushy, awesome, warm, fuzzy, emotional stuff. But today what I'd like to do, because really this podcast is as much as possible about how to. How do you do this? How do you do that? I want you to apply these things in your business. That's the secret sauce of the Quick Talk Podcast, is that I'm teaching you how to do stuff that makes you money, that improves your life. And that's what I want to do with this. So we had some questions about systems and date night specifically. And we actually have some really cool date night systems that we're going to teach you that you can apply, and like how to do it, the rules, what's the structure of it. So this podcast won't be really long, but it will be really valuable for anybody in a relationship that's an entrepreneur. Right, Ash?
Right, exactly.
So we're going to talk about the date night question cards. So we actually learned this in Costa Rica from this couple. We went to this little conference. It was amazing. And it was such a cool, powerful idea. And then we also shared this idea at our Automate, Grow, Sell experience, which, if you don't know, that was last fall. It was our first live event. We brought a whole bunch of people up to Michigan into our actual home and did a really powerful business building mastermind. I flew in a bunch of it was amazing. This isn't a pitch for that. But last year, that was really cool. And one of the things we gave our attendees, because we focused on trying to attract married entrepreneurs, was these date night cards.
Yep.
And people love them.
Yep, we gave out 4 date night cards. Actually, it was at our marriage. We had a little marriage session, and then we gave everybody 4 date night questions. And
4 cards with multiple questions.
4 cards with multiple questions, yes, and
right.
That's four dates.
So we're gonna read them out right now, so you guys can use them. And here's the point of date night: to not be robotic, right? You want to schedule and be intentional. That's why it's a system, but you want it to be fun. And so you got to understand, what is the outcome you want to happen from date night, right? What is the desired outcome? What's the miniature mountaintop for that 1 3-4 hour session with your spouse? It's to connect. And so there's some rules, like turn your phone off, leave your phone in the car, right? If you have kids, you can bring it with you, but just you don't use it. You don't be sitting on Facebook. Go to a restaurant nowadays, and people don't even talk to each other. No. And we do this. Like, we'll go eat lunch real quick, casually, and look at our phone. But it's really weird and dumb and not good. And it's really creepy to me when I see, like, a nice restaurant with people having dinner and they don't talk the entire time. That's madness. This is a huge opportunity to communicate and just have fun and connect. So what do we do?
Well, I would just say, too, like, the reason for the date cards is you might think that you know your spouse so well, but your spouse has also changed, but it also gives you a little bit more fun and just exciting things to talk about. One rule for the date night cards, when you're on this date, is you're not allowed to talk about your kids or your work.
Oh, that's right. Yep. That's important. And
that one's so hard. Josh and I thought we were killing it.
When we say that, everybody's like, oh, crap. That's why no one talks, right? It's because you take those 2 topics out and there's nothing left. And that's the problem, is you don't have a relationship with your spouse anymore that doesn't revolve around your kids or your business. Ooh, God, that crushes me a little, because that's scary. And I think that's why a lot of people get divorced after like 20-something years of marriage, is because they don't have an actual relationship. Everything's around going to soccer practice, paying the bills, doing the family vacation in June, because that's what you do, but there's not like an actual love that's being carried forward just between the man and wife, which is super sad. I don't want that to happen. Do you want that to happen? Do you want to have a big, awesome business with no one to high-five you for it? What a nightmare. I don't want that. So
one thing so we're not reading from the date cards that we gave out. We're just reading from some of the date nights that we've had before. So first one, would you rather not have the internet, or would you rather not have air conditioning? Both
Ooh.
for the rest of your life.
Oh, God. Oh, man. For me, are we going to go through these?
No, you don't have
This
to
will
go
take like
through
forever.
these.
But write these down, guys, or go back and listen when you have a pen and paper, because these are the questions you ask each other on date night. No kids, no business, no cell phone. This is how you kick things off.
I love that question. Just so you know, that's not the first time I've asked him
That's
that
a
question.
horrible one. But I have to go, I'm obsessed with air conditioning, so it's painful, but I'd have to go without air conditioning.
Oh my
I
gosh,
have to have the
you
internet.
might die.
I have to. I can't do any of our businesses.
You have to live in the Arctic Circle just so he could function.
Yeah, I'm weak when it comes to
Okay.
air conditioning.
Tell me about a book that has changed your life.
Movers of Men and Mountains by R.G. Letourneau. Robert Letourneau. He's my business hero. Literally, I want to model my life after his life. No one knows about that book, and this really amazing man named Frank Walker gave me a copy before we went to Costa Rica for our month trip, and I read it in that trip, and it was unbelievable. Anyway, that's my answer. What's your answer?
Ooh, I don't know. I have like 10.
Just pick one.
Anything by Francis Chan.
Yeah,
I'm
Francis
just going
Chan
to
is
say
pretty
that.
cool.
I just love Francis Chan. Are we going through all of these?
No,
'Cause
I won't answer them now. Sorry.
Okay,
They're just
okay.
so interesting. I feel like I have to answer. Okay,
I know.
let's
And
just
here's
read them
another
off.
thing: is some of these questions can take you in vulnerable places, and I think that's another thing too. Is be vulnerable with your spouse. If anybody's got your back and wants you to be vulnerable with them, it's your spouse. And if one question leads you off of the whole card, save the rest for a different time. If you can start one great epic conversation off of one
yeah.
question, go with it. Just do it.
Yeah, good advice.
Okay. Tell me about somewhere you've been that you would like to go back to. That's easy enough.
That's a good one.
What's the best vacation your family has ever had? What food makes you just want to freak out?
In a good way?
Yeah.
Or maybe a bad
or maybe a bad way. And you can interpret the questions your own way. Tell me about a time you overcame a fear. What is one thing you've learned the hard way in life? What are one or two things you have done this week that you've really enjoyed? Think of a couple you greatly respect. What are 3 things you admire about their relationship? I don't know. There's a few other
Keep
ones.
going. These are great.
What is one place you really want to visit? Oh, if you had $1 million to give away, what would you do with it? I hope your spouse knows this one. That's a really important question. Because if you're going to do good in business, you need to know the answer of where they would like to financially support.
That's true.
What would you do with your time if money were of no concern? My husband really, really, really loves would you rather questions, but he just makes those up. So sometimes if we have would you rather questions on the card, or sometimes I'll just put some in my phone to go over, and I'll be like, oh, what about this question? And if I start with would you rathers, he just starts making his own. He's very creative in that department.
Most of them are inappropriate, so I can't say on the podcast.
Well, I'll lead that into my next inappropriate one.
Well, what's an example of a would you rather? Do you have some?
Well, that
What's
was
the one
like
with
internet.
the what's the hard or the long arms and short feet one that you always say? What is that one?
I can't remember.
It's like,
but
would you rather have arms the size of your legs or legs
Like
the size of your arms?
Yes.
And you have to pick one. The rule with any would you rather question is you're not allowed to say I pick neither. That ruins it. You're not allowed to. It's forbidden. You have to pick one. Okay, keep going.
Sorry. When do you feel respected by me? Ooh, that one's a tough one, maybe.
Not why don't you respect me?
No, that's a different
That's
question.
totally different question. It's when do you feel respected by me? That's a scary one.
I must have clicked on the ones that are a little scantily, because
Is there
these
bad
are
ones
all
on here?
sex questions.
Okay. Well, those are okay for date night. We just won't read them on the podcast, but have fun. That's the whole point. And I thought it'd be cool to do one more episode real quick with Ashley listing out some examples of the rules of how we do date night. So we don't just do date night, we do date night. We don't talk about business or kids to the best that we can, even though we mess up. And by we, I mean me. Because again, it's not perfection, it's progress. And don't use your cell phone, and then have questions prepared in advance to start conversations.
And here's another thing about date night, is that someone had asked, what do Josh and I like to do for date night? We love to eat, so we do go out to eat a lot. But we also like to just go for long drives in the car. That's just kind of our thing. And when we were there, we had a couple there that said, you know, when you guys said that about the car, we just had to giggle because what we like to do is we like to go to grocery stores. Remember? They like to go to grocery stores.
Yes.
And they like to rate grocery stores, which I just thought, that's cool. Like, you just be you together. Whatever your relationship is, do the thing. Like, don't force something that's not you. Like, if you like to go to baseball games, then go to baseball games. If you like to go bowling, I mean, think like a teenager would. When you went to impress your wife or your husband, go do those things.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice. That's great advice. And I do remember the grocery store one. Look, all of us are weirdos, and it's okay. Be your own kind of weirdo. Do it with your wife, and be organized with it. That is leadership. It's going to make you a better business person. This is a huge deal. Plus, it's going to make you succeed at a higher level in business, man. I get on fire. When Ashley's in my corner, when she's like, oh, you go get him. You get him. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. It's just rocket fuel.
I will say this too. If you start making your wife a priority, I'm not saying you have to do a bazillion hours, but your employees will watch that, and then their employees will go home and do the same things for their wives. And when they start loving their wives better, you'll have better employees, because a happy employee is going to crush it for you. And if their home life is a mess, that will sometimes slip out into the field, you know. But if their home life is rocking, then, you know, so just be a great example, not just to your spouse and your kids, but also to your employees. Your customers will see that. I mean, when your customer sees your wife glowing at the store and is like, just, you know.
This is a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect. Yep. Sorry, I can go on and on.
Being an entrepreneur is a lot of responsibility, and a lot of people are depending on you. Just make sure you have your priorities in order, the best that you can, and apologize when you don't, and communicate as often as you can. Have grace with each other, like we said on yesterday's show, and things will be better. So I hope that helps. I hope that's valuable to you. And I hope that you're giving me some 5-star iTunes reviews, because I'm just going to keep saying that every single time, and you can't escape it. I'm just going to be annoying at the end of the podcast and ask, please, please, please share episodes. Be my super cool kids club street team of sharers, so we can 10x the amount of people listening to this show. We need to grow our audience base, and I hope I'm adding value to you. I appreciate you. Do you have a closing thought?
Yes, I do have a closing thought.
All right.
Would you rather be invisible, or would you rather be able to read minds?
Ooh. Wait, am I permanently invisible?
No, you can come in and out.
Oh man, that is really valuable.
I guess if you're invisible, maybe you don't have to read people's minds, but
I think I'd go read minds. I mean, it'd be more fun to be invisible. It'd be like funny. You could do cool stuff and mess with people, but it'd be more valuable as an asset to be able to read people's minds. I mean, I don't know. What would you pick?
Ooh. I think I would be invisible. I don't want to know what people are thinking.
Oh, that's true. I made assumptions that it would only be positive, but there'd be a lot of darkness in there, wouldn't there?
Yes.
I don't think I want to know what you're actually thinking half the time. Whew.
Well, go have date night, everybody. Enjoy each other. Rein it back in if it's lost.
Pivot.
Yeah. Enjoy each other. Have a date night on us. Oh, and for date night questions, if you're looking, you can either Google them or go on Pinterest and just type in date night questions.
Oh, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
I was wondering where you got all these.
Oh, no, I just got them from my brain. I'm just so smart. No.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care. God bless.
Hey, thanks for hanging out, friends. And from all of us here at the Quick Talk Podcast team, we hope you loved today's show. We hope that you were inspired to become a doer and not just a listener. Apply what you've heard today in your own business and watch things change for the better. Lastly, remember that all the money in the world can't save your soul. Seek first the kingdom of God, my friends. We'll see you next time.
For more information about the Quick Talk Podcast or Joshua's other businesses, visit our website, quicktalkpodcast.com. Have a blessed day.